At the Secret Creek Sanctuary in Lithgow, you can find various endangered Australian animals, like the eastern creek quoll, koalas, brush-tailed wallabies, and now a small population of mountain pygmy possums, which is one of the most threatened species by climate change in Australia. Usually this mammal is found in high altitudes around mountains in Victoria and Mount Kosciuszko in New South Wales. In the past, it has battled against predators and ski field development, but now the mountain pygmy possum is facing its biggest challenge yet: climate change. It faces extinction due to warming temperatures melting snow in their habitat, which affects their ability to hibernate and shortens their lifespan.
So here at Secret Creek we have 10 little mountain pygmy possums, and they're here as a part of a program to see if they breed at a lower altitude. We're at 1,000 metres here and it still gets cold and snows and all those sort of things, so we're hoping mountain pygmy possums can adapt to a lower altitude and adapt to probably warmer areas for hibernation, and still have a viable life where they can breed and live and raise their young at maybe 1,000 to 1,200 metres.
Trevor keeps his pygmy possums in these enclosures, kept at a cool 2 degrees. But this species is just one of thousands in Australia that are facing extinction, either from climate change, habitat loss, or predators. Leslie Hughes is a professor of biological science at Macquarie University, specialising in climate change and animal extinction.
There are millions of species that could go extinct due to climate change. Up until recently, it's always been considered that habitat loss and other forms of stress like overharvesting and pollution were really the most significant things for species, especially in terms of causing extinctions. But increasingly climate change is really starting to bite, and in future decades may well be the driving cause of extinctions. But of course the important thing to realise is that climate change as a stress interacts with all of those other stresses that have been around for even longer. And usually that sort of synergy of stresses makes life even more difficult.
But the mountain pygmy possum has an extensive fossil record dating back 24 million years. When the researchers examined where the fossils of this mammal were located, they found that in the past this species had survived at much lower altitudes than previously thought. Dr. Hayley Bates from the University of New South Wales is an expert in mountain pygmy possums and is now involved in the conservation project at Secret Creek Sanctuary.
So climate change is complex. So when you always see the mountain pygmy possum as a really vulnerable species from climate change, but there's so much going on in their environment at the moment, and it's really important for people to realise that the possums have been around for such a long time, so their lineage goes back 26 million years in the fossil record, and they have survived climate change over and over again when many other species in their environment have gone extinct. So that does identify that they do have some kind of adaptability and resilience, and that's a really important tool that we can use to try and help them now through climate change now. That project is again to learn from the past and try and see if we can get the possums to breed again successfully, clearly observing their behaviour in different environments, to see if we can then go and implement that back in the field for management strategies for the future. Almost everything that we use comes from natural resources, and animals and plants are so valuable to us, not just aesthetically, but when someone gets sick or we need a new sort of technology, it's normally biology that we turn to. To me, biodiversity is our resilience. So it's something that we've exploited as people. It's made us the most successful species on the planet, and we've been able to do that because there is so much biodiversity. The scary thing is when species start going extinct, that's our future resilience. So when one species goes extinct, people might not really care, but what if that species was the cure to cancer? Every single species is important, and it has something valuable, from an earthworm to a mountain pygmy possum. There's just so much that we can learn, and who knows what we're going to need when.